In this world, no lesson is taught in advance. There is only one test, and the price of failing is your life. For the baby zebra, this river is not a path. This is where it is decided whether it will be allowed to grow up. Baby zebra, the first river crossing test. The dry season arrives. The Serengeti grassland falls silent in a different way. Not empty, but the kind of silence before something great begins. Hundreds of thousands of zebras are moving southward. This is the greatest migration on Earth, and not one of them is allowed to stop. Among the herd, calves just a few weeks old move along. Their striped coats still soft, their legs still unsteady. They do not yet know they are on their way to their first test. Ahead lies the Mara River, the natural boundary that every animal in the herd must cross. There is no other path. There is no second option. The zebra is Africa's largest seasonal migrant, traveling thousands of kilometers each year in search of new, nutrient-rich grasslands. A foal must stand within 30 minutes of being born, not a miracle. It is the bare minimum required to survive in this ecosystem. It stays close to its mother with every step, a behavior known as shadowing. For the foal, its mother is not just protection, but direction, the entirety of its world. But it has never crossed a river, never faced rushing water, never felt the pull of an invisible current. What lies ahead is a completely new experience. The zebra herd halts at the riverbank. Thousands of individuals stand still. A rare moment in nature when the fastest running species hesitates before a body of water. The Mara River is not wide, but width is not the danger here. The danger lies beneath the surface of the murky red-brown water surging past. Below the surface, Nile crocodiles have been waiting since before the zebra herd arrived. They do not rely on speed, they rely on patience. A fully grown adult can weigh between 500 and 750 kilograms. Its bite force reaches up to 5,000 pounds per square inch, enough to drag an adult zebra underwater in just a few seconds. In the murky water, the Nile crocodile is nearly invisible. This is not merely hiding. It is a perfect attack design refined over hundreds of millions of years of evolution. The Mara River's current this season reaches 3 to 5 meters per second, enough to sweep away any foal that loses its footing, even without a predator present. The riverbed is covered in slippery rocks. One misplaced step is all it takes. The current and the rocky bottom are the first threats the foal must face before the crocodiles. The lead animal steps into the water. Thousands follow, not out of courage, but because the pressure of the herd leaves no other choice. The foal hesitates at the water's edge. The cold water touches its front hooves, a completely new sensation. No memory exists to make it feel familiar. The mother zebra turns her head back. the clearest signal of all. Follow me. The foal steps in, not because it understands the danger, but because it cannot stay behind alone. The water rises to its belly. All four legs lose stability on the slippery rocks. The running reflex is triggered, but in water, speed no longer means anything. The foal begins to swim by reflex. Its muscles are not yet strong enough to fight the Mara River's current. Every second that passes, a portion of its energy is swept away. On this bank, hyenas are watching, and they are waiting. The smartest player in any hunt is not always the one who strikes first. The current pushes the foal 2 meters away from its mother. In ordinary circumstances, that distance means nothing. But here, 2 meters is the boundary between safety and danger. Beneath the surface, a crocodile, more than 4 meters long, begins to adjust its angle. No rush, no sound. It is calculating the approach angle and the right moment. The foal falls into a panic, the most dangerous mistake possible in water. Panic disrupts the swimming rhythm, drains energy, and pulls the body deeper beneath the surface. The mother senses it and turns back, breaking from the flow of the moving herd. Turning back means accepting a higher risk, going against the rules of survival. Underwater, a crocodile attacks the nearest adult, not the foal. It is a feint, creating chaos, to isolate the real target. A burst of water explodes. The zebra herd breaks formation, scattering in multiple directions. The foal loses its bearings. Its mother is no longer visible, only water and the sound of chaos. Instinct takes over. No more thinking, only reflex remains. And in those few brief seconds, everything is decided. The crocodile disappears back into the current after its strike. Not visible does not mean safe. In the Mara River, the most dangerous things are usually the ones that cannot be seen. Finally, the foal reaches a narrow strip of land in the middle of the river. It climbs up, gasping, all 4 legs trembling, but it is still standing. The mother has already reached the far bank. She calls out, the distinctive recognition call of the zebra. Amid the chaos, that is the only signal the foal needs. The second time it steps into the water, the foal no longer hesitates. Its mother's call has overridden the fear, an evolutionary mechanism that prioritizes connection over panic. The second half of the river holds no crocodiles. They have concentrated around the main herd. The foal does not know this. It swims in fear, and that very fear drives it to move faster. The far bank comes into view. It climbs up using every last bit of energy. No technique, no control, only the survival instinct. The mother stands still and waits. She does not move closer. In the language of zebras, standing still is an affirmation. I am here. You must come to me. The foal trembles, coat soaked through, breathing rapid. But it is standing beside its mother, on ground that just minutes before seemed completely out of reach. Not far away, another foal is not so fortunate. Separated from the herd early, it loses its bearings, swept downstream by the current. Its mother cannot find it again. Nature does not distinguish between right and wrong. Only different positions and different moments produce different outcomes. 1 meter in the wrong place is enough to change everything. The crocodile pulls its prey to the bottom, a behavior known as the death roll. No drama, no drawn-out struggle, only a mechanism, executed exactly as it was designed. The rest of the zebra herd continues up the bank. No stopping, no looking back. In herd survival, stopping means increasing the risk for all. The foal stands on this bank and looks back at the river. Its brain cannot process memories the way a human's does, but its body will remember in the way that biology remembers. Instinct is not rewritten by thought, but by experience. Today's fear becomes tomorrow's reflex. That is how nature evolves every living creature. The foal will cross the Mara River many more times in its life. Each time, it steps in faster, more precisely. Survival is a skill learned through fear. In nature, there is no such thing as a safe childhood. To be born is to begin a series of trials. Instinct is not perfect. It must be sharpened through risk and fear. Across the Serengeti grassland, that cycle will continue, season after season, generation after generation. And the Mara River will remain, waiting for Antais, each new foal, to step into the first test of its life. In the heart of Africa, where morning light touches ancient tree canopies, nature is not just a survival battle, it's also an exquisite drama of adaptation. Strange behaviors, unexpected alliances, tactics that science still cannot fully decode. From tropical rainforests to arid grasslands, life has evolved along complex paths that humans have only begun to observe and understand. These are stories about intelligence, about perseverance, and about secrets that wild nature still silently keeps. In Queen Elizabeth National Park, Uganda, there's a phenomenon that even zoologists were once surprised by. Lions, Panthera leo, the species we know as ground dominators. But here, they climb trees. Not just a few individuals, but entire prides. They lie draped across thin branches over 5 meters above ground. For an adult lion weighing nearly 200 kilograms, this is abnormal behavior. So why do they do this? The first reason is to avoid tsetse flies and blood-sucking insects. Up high, the wind blows cooler, and there are fewer insects. The second reason is observation. From elevated positions, lions can see prey from afar and monitor competing rivals. And the third reason is cultural adaptation. Lion cubs learn this behavior from their mothers. This is knowledge passed through generations. Not all lions can do this. Only individuals in Ishasha. The environment has shaped this unique behavior. Lions lying in trees, looking down at the world below, like kings without thrones, but still ruling. This is proof that even species that have dominated for millions of years can still change to survive. In the heart of Africa and South America, where rivers can disappear completely, there's a miraculous creature called the lungfish. Lungfish, Protopterus annectans, have existed for over 400 million years. They are living fossils of evolution. When dry season comes and water depletes, most fish species will die. But lungfish have a different strategy. They dig a burrow in mud, curl up, and begin secreting a mucus layer surrounding their body. This mucus layer dries to form a protective cocoon. Inside, lungfish switch to breathing with lungs instead of gills. This state is called estivation. Heart rate slows. Metabolism reduces to minimum levels. They can survive like this for many years. When rainwater returns, the first drops seep into the cocoon. Lungfish begin to wake. The mucus layer dissolves. Within hours, the fish can swim again, as if time never passed. This is absolute survival ability. Proof that life can exist even in the harshest conditions. In the Miombo forests of southern Africa, a strange relationship has existed for thousands of years. It's the symbiosis between honey-guide birds and honey badgers. Honey-guide birds, indicator, are small birds with gray-brown plumage, but their abilities far exceed that modest appearance. They can locate wild beehives from hundreds of meters away, but alone, honey-guide birds cannot break through the hard shell of beehives. And this is when the companion appears. Honey badger, Mellivora capensis, one of the most fearless animals on the planet. When honey-guide birds emit their distinctive calls, honey badgers understand that honey is nearby. An alliance begins. Birds fly from branch to branch, continuously signaling directions. Below, honey badgers silently follow, each step slow and patient. Upon reaching the hive, honey badgers use extremely strong claws to tear apart the protective layer. Their thick skin is barely affected by stings. Honey badgers take the honey and larvae. Honey guide birds wait, and when honey badgers leave, they eat the remaining beeswax pieces. For honey guide birds, beeswax is a valuable nutrient that few bird species can digest. This is the reward for cooperation. A wordless alliance passed down by instinct has existed long before humans began observing and recording. On the vast grasslands of Africa, a pack of wild dogs is preparing for a hunt, but not immediately. African wild dogs, like the Invictus, are excellent hunters with success rates up to 80%. Before each hunt, they organize a social gathering. Individuals run around each other, touch muzzles, create excited sounds. But the most notable thing is not the calls, but the sneezes. And this is not random. Researchers have discovered that wild dogs use sneezing as a form of voting, nature's referendum. This is clear evidence of an organized society where decisions don't come from a single individual, but are formed by the collective. When enough votes are collected, the wild dog pack immediately switches to action, racing into grasslands at speeds reaching 60 kilometers per hour. Their target is impala antelope. The chase lasts many minutes, requiring precise and synchronized coordination. No individual acts alone. Each assumes a specific role. This is the power of consensus. Beneath murky water, a crocodile appears like a harmless piece of rotting wood. Perfect camouflage art helps it disappear completely before prey's eyes. Bats swoop down to the river surface to drink. They don't know that hundreds of pressure-sensing organs on crocodile skin are silently tracking. An explosive strike. The crocodile lunges at 12 meters per second, utilizing jaw force of thousands of PSI to finish the target in an instant. The life-death boundary just established through a perfect ambush. The river quiets again, continuing to conceal the assassin beneath the duckweed layer. From unexpected alliances to extraordinary survival tactics, wild nature never stops surprising. These strange behaviors are not abnormalities. They are evidence of adaptation, of intelligence, of the will to live. Each species carries its own story, and each creature holds an irreplaceable role in the grand picture of life on Earth. But by 2026, many of these natural behaviors are gradually disappearing as habitats increasingly shrink. Conservation is not just preserving species, it's preserving unique behaviors, knowledge passed through generations. Because when a species disappears, we don't just lose a creature, we lose the secrets that nature is still trying to tell. In the dense forests of Africa, morning sunlight filters through the canopy, where every creature seeks to survive in its own way. This is home to antelope, monkeys, wild pigs, and countless bird species. But here too, in the darkness of thick canopies, a hunter watches. Each leaf trembles slightly. This is no ordinary forest. This is territory of nature's most perfect predator. In dappled light, rosette spots appear clearly. This is the leopard, one of the planet's most mysterious and talented big cats. Leopards possess golden fur with distinctive rosette-shaped spots. Each individual has unique patterns, like human fingerprints. They can weigh up to 90 kilograms, but what's special is in size. What's special lies in body design. Tail nearly half as long as the body, functioning as a perfect balancing pole. Retractable claws help them move smoothly and absolutely silently. But the most prominent feature is extremely powerful hind leg muscles. They can jump up to 3 meters high in a single bound. Leopards are the only big cats that can live completely in trees. They eat, sleep, even give birth on branches dozens of meters high. While lions hunt on grasslands, tigers hide in bushes. Leopards have chosen a different strategy. They conquer three-dimensional space. Sharp yellow eyes scan every space. Hearing 5 times more acute than humans. Nose can smell blood from hundreds of meters away. Now the mission is clear. An antelope grazes not far away. It hasn't yet realized it has entered the sights of the perfect predator. Leopard moves like a ghost, each footstep placed precisely. Not a single leaf falls, not a single branch trembles. Distance narrows, 5 meters, 4 meters, body lowered, tail stretched straight to maintain balance. The moment has come. In an instant, leopard leaps from 6 meters high. Precise strike. Antelope can't react in time. Speed and strength perfectly combined. But the work isn't finished. On the ground, blood smell will attract enemies. Hyenas, lions, even wild dog packs can steal prey. The leopard's solution is unique. They drag prey up trees. A 40-kilogram antelope carried to 5 meters height using only jaw and neck muscles. Step by step, meter by meter. Weight double the body, but leopards still climb steadily. This is strength evolved over millions of years. Reaching safety, the meal begins. Leopards can eat up to 20 kilograms of meat at once. Leftover food will be stored in trees, away from thieves. But it's not always favorable. Sometimes prey isn't on the ground. They're right in trees, among thick canopies. Monkeys are the most difficult prey. They're agile, vigilant, and always live in groups. But leopards have an advantage no other big cat possesses. Absolute silence in trees. They move from branch to branch, blending into canopy shadows. Spotted patterns help them become completely invisible. In an instant, the attack occurs. In midair, among fragile branches, leopard strength and skill are fully displayed. Despite being apex hunters, leopards also face challenges. Their territory is shrinking. Forests are disappearing at alarming rates. Leopard numbers in the wild have decreased over 30% in the past 3 generations. From African deserts to Asian rainforest, the story is the same. But adaptability has helped leopards survive through millions of years. They can live in minus 30 degree or 45 degree heat. They can live near humans, in small forests where lions or tigers cannot. Leopards have proven themselves masters of survival. In 2026, conservation efforts are being accelerated. Movement corridors are established. Forests are more strictly protected. Each surviving leopard individual is proof of nature's vitality. They are bridges between earth and sky, between past and future. In twilight, leopards again blend into darkness. They don't need to roar like lions, don't need to display strength like tigers. They only need to exist. And that existence, silent but powerful, is a reminder that nature still has secrets worth discovering, worth respecting, and worth protecting. Leopards, mysterious, powerful, perfect, and now need protection more than ever. The first rays of dawn shine down on the Serengeti grasslands. A new day begins at the heart of Africa. Here, millions of creatures coexist in a complex ecological network, where predator and prey, strong and weak, intertwine their fates. But not all make their living by strength. Some have chosen another path, the path of opportunists. This is the story of Africa's most notorious thieves, those who survive on the fruits of others' labor. Spotted hyenas, Crocuta crocuta, can reach weights up to 70 kilograms, living in clans ranging from 10 to 80 individuals. with the strongest jaws among African carnivores. But 80% of their food comes from scavenging. They track other hunters like leopards and cheetahs, patiently waiting for the right opportunity. Spotted hyena's tactic is patience. One hyena may lose, but the whole clan is different. Numbers are weapons. Their calls echo across grasslands, summoning teammates. A leopard just brought down a stray antelope and prepares to drag prey up a tree, but it's too late. The hyena clan appears and surrounds, not attacking directly, but just patiently waiting, creating continuous psychological pressure. The leopard gradually exhausts and must make a choice: abandon prey or face the entire clan. Finally, survival instinct prevailed. Within just 2 minutes, the antelope carcass completely disappears. Meat, skin, and bones all consumed. This is not cruelty, but survival efficiency. African wild dogs, like Caon pictus, currently number only about 6,000 individuals in the wild and are classified as endangered. Unlike hyenas, they are professional hunters with hunt success rates up to 80%, highest among terrestrial carnivores. However, when opportunity presents, they're also ready to steal prey, especially when lions have eaten their fill and left. Speed is the key advantage. They rush in quickly, take remaining portions, and retreat before other rivals can react. Black-backed jackals, Canis mesomelus, are much smaller and lighter than other carnivores at only about 10 kilograms, but compensate with high intelligence and flexibility. They live in pairs or small groups, not strong enough to confront directly, so choose another strategy: waiting in shadows. Night is their activity time, when large hunters rest. They silently approach, searching for leftovers. A bone fragment, a bit of meat, not much, but enough to sustain life. That's the survival art of the small. In African skies exists another opportunist group: vultures, distant relatives of eagles. African white-backed vultures, Gyps africanus, with wingspans up to 2.5 meters and vision about 8 times stronger than humans, allowing them to detect carcasses from altitudes up to 4,000 meters. They don't hunt, but soar in the air, patiently observing all movements below. When an animal falls, vultures are the first to notice. They swoop down quickly, in numbers up to dozens, even hundreds. The scene is not beautiful, but necessary. They clean the savannah, prevent disease spread, a role no species can replace. Beneath the water surface, another opportunist waits. Nile crocodile, Crocodiles niloticus. Bodies up to 6 meters long, weighing nearly 1 ton and living over 100 years, they're considered living fossils, existing from over 200 million years ago. Possessing the strongest bite force among terrestrial creatures, but crocodiles aren't just active hunters. They also track other predators. When a leopard brings down an antelope near the riverbank, that could be a fatal mistake. In an instant, it lunges, yanking prey into water. The leopard can only stand stunned as the meal disappears before its eyes. Underwater, crocodiles perform the death roll. Violent spinning to tear prey into pieces. Efficient, brutal, but true to survival nature. And then there are lions, Panthera leo, often called kings of the savannah. But even kings have secrets. Lionesses are the main hunters, bringing back up to 80% of the pride's food. But the question is, who eats first? Male lions, weighing nearly double lionesses. They approach, push lionesses aside, and eat first. Privilege of the strong. This is not cruelty, but biological order. Male lions defend territory, face other rivals, and need large energy sources to survive. However, in many cases, male lions are also true opportunists. They don't hunt directly, but wander, seeking the right moment. A cheetah just brought down an antelope, the fastest land animal, but after the chase, it's nearly exhausted. A male lion smells blood and steps out from grass. The cheetah recognizes danger, but it's too late to flee. No confrontation. The cheetah must abandon hours of hunting effort while the lion claims victory without fighting. That's the savannah's law. Size determines power. But the cycle doesn't stop. When lions eat their fill and leave, others successively appear. Hyenas return. Wild dogs approach. From above, vultures swoop down. Jackals sneak in shadows. Each species takes its share. Nothing is wasted. Every bone, every piece of skin, every drop of blood has value and is utilized. Finally, only dried bloodstains remain on grass. The next day, grass will grow green again. The cycle continues. No winners, no losers. That's how the African savannah operates. No fairness or right and wrong, only survival and ability to seize opportunities. Hyenas, wild dogs, jackals, vultures, crocodiles, and lions, all are opportunists and all are survivors. In this ecosystem, no role is small. Each species assumes a specific function, from hunter to cleaner. All are necessary. Yet, in the past 3 decades, African vulture numbers have dropped up to 80%. Hyenas gradually lose habitat. Wild dogs number only about 6,000 individuals in the wild. In 2026, humanity stands at a crossroads. Protect these so-called thieves, or lose the entire system they maintain. Each opportunist has a role. Each behavior has a function. They don't steal, they recycle, they regulate, they keep life continuing. The African savannah, where rules are written by nature, where each creature finds ways to survive in its own way. Some call them thieves, some call them opportunists, but nature doesn't judge. Nature only maintains balance. And in that balanced state, these thieves hold an irreplaceable role. Not heroes or villains, simply part of life. Because on this land, there's only one truth. To survive, sometimes you must hunt, sometimes you must wait, and sometimes you just need to appear at the right moment. This is Africa, where each day is a survival lesson, where opportunists also become teachers, teaching about adaptation, patience, and the art of existence. And in that lesson, there's a message for humanity. In nature, there are no bad guys, only creatures trying to live by any means possible. Therefore, when mentioning Africa's thieves, remember they don't steal, they survive. And that very survival has kept Africa forever vibrant. From grasslands to rivers, from ground to sky, each ecosystem layer has guardians, cleaners, and creatures recycling life. Africa, land of wonders, where each creature, whether large or small, hunter or thief, has a role in life's grand symphony. In nature, evolution has armed every species with its own tools for survival, from fangs and horns to venom and adaptive strategies. Among them, keratin claws appear across nearly every ecosystem, from aerial predators to giants that roam the land. Each claw has evolved to match a specific lifestyle, some to tear flesh, some to dig, others to grip prey with deadly precision. And when we ask which claws are the most dangerous, the answer does not lie with lions or tigers, but with species we least expect. In the rainforests of South America, the giant anteater moves slowly through the undergrowth, weighing around 40 kilograms, seemingly harmless in appearance. It has no teeth. Its diet consists mainly of ants and termites. At first glance, it appears to be one of the forest's most defenseless creatures. But look at its forefeet. 4 sickle-shaped claws, nearly 10 centimeters long, powerful enough to tear open termite mounds as hard as concrete. When threatened, the anteater rises onto its hind legs, spreading its forelimbs. In this stance, its claws become lethal weapons. These claws can rip through a leopard's flesh. There are documented cases of giant anteaters killing leopards during confrontations. On the other side of the world, deep in the rainforest of Queensland, Australia, an ancient bird moves silently across the damp forest floor. The cassowary, Casuarius casuarius. Standing up to 1.8 meters tall and weighing 60 kilograms, its most terrifying weapon is not its size, but its feet. The middle toe bears a dagger-like claw measuring up to 12 centimeters. When it kicks, all the force is focused onto this razor-sharp point. The impact is comparable to a professional boxer's punch, but concentrated into a far smaller area, enough to pierce flesh or cause severe internal injuries. For this reason, the cassowary is considered the most dangerous bird on Earth, fearless of humans and willing to attack when threatened. In the mountains and forests of North America, the grizzly bear roams in search of food, weighing up to 300 kilograms and possessing overwhelming strength. Grizzly claws range from 5 to 10 centimeters in length. Unlike feline claws, they cannot retract and remain in constant contact with the ground, providing superior grip for digging and movement. These claws are used to unearth roots and insects, but when necessary, they instantly become deadly weapons. A single swipe from a grizzly's paw can shatter the ribs of large animals. Combined with immense mass and muscle, it is a devastating blow. In the world of big cats, claws follow a very different design. Lions, tigers, and leopards possess fully retractable claws hidden within protective sheaths. This mechanism keeps the claws razor sharp by preventing wear during walking. When hunting, muscles and tendons extend the claws, turning the paws into perfect weapons. A tiger's claws can reach 10 centimeters in length. Combined with a bite force of over 1,000 psi, they form a lethal partnership. Claws to hold, jaws to kill. Yet even more remarkable is a smaller cat, the caracal. Weighing around 15 kilograms, it possesses extraordinarily agile and precise claws. The caracal can leap up to 3 meters from a standing position, snatching birds out of the air mid-flight. A rare and astonishing skill. Above the rainforest canopy, another predator soars. The harpy eagle, Harpia harpia, the largest eagle in the Americas, with a wingspan nearing 2 meters. Its true weapons lie in its legs, where talons measuring 10 to 13 centimeters rival those of a grizzly bear, the most powerful of any bird. The crushing grip of a harpy eagle can exceed 300 kilograms per square centimeter, enough to shatter the skulls of monkeys or sloths in seconds. Harpy eagles hunt within dense forest canopies, weaving through branches at speed, guided by exceptional vision and flawless aerial control. Each species has evolved claws suited precisely to its environment and way of life. There is no single, most dangerous claw, only the most effective design. Grizzlies use claws to dig, harpy eagles to crush, anteaters to break. By 2026, many of these species face increasing threats from habitat loss, poaching, and global climate change. Claws stand as living proof of evolutionary power. Millions of years spent refining every detail to create perfect tools for survival. Because behind every claw lies a story of adaptation, instinct, and the intricate beauty of nature, a lesson humanity is still learning. The Serengeti savannah is home to over 3 million herbivores, but it's also territory of the planet's most dangerous predators. Each day, life here is a ceaseless battle of wits. Herbivores have no fangs or claws, no venom. They only have survival instinct. In this ecosystem, each herbivore species has developed different skills, but all aim toward one single purpose: to survive. This is the story of adaptation, about how seemingly vulnerable species have existed and continue to exist through millions of years of evolution. Wildebeest can reach speeds up to 70 kilometers per hour, but for them, speed is not the only weapon for survival. Zebras live in large herds. In Serengeti alone, numbers reach 200,000 individuals. This very scale is their survival strategy. Giraffes stand nearly 6 meters tall. Their vision encompasses the entire savannah. Height itself is absolute security advantage. African buffalo with massive horns can inflict fatal injuries, making them one of the least attacked herbivore species. Each species possesses distinct advantages, but all exist in one unchanging reality. Danger is always present and never disappears. Regarding senses, antelope ears can rotate 360 degrees. They detect sounds from 1 kilometer distance. This is a natural early warning system. Zebra eyes are positioned on sides of the head, vision nearly 360 degrees. They can see behind without turning their heads. Buffalo's sense of smell is 5 times more acute than humans. They can smell lions from 300 meters, time enough to prepare defense. Giraffes combine all 3 senses, but the greatest advantage is height. From 6 meters high, they see what's coming first. When one detects danger, the entire herd reacts. Information spreads in just seconds. Collective warning system. Regarding speed and endurance, wildebeest have maximum speed of 70 kilometers per hour, and they maintain this speed continuously for 5 kilometers. Cheetahs are faster, 110 kilometers per hour, but can only run 300 meters before exhaustion. Wildebeest know this. The tactic is to prolong the chase. Run zigzag, change direction suddenly, deplete the predator's energy. Zebras aren't as fast as antelope. Maximum speed 65 kilometers per hour, but they have astonishing endurance. In annual migration, zebras run over 3,000 kilometers. Their bodies evolved for endurance, not explosive speed. Regarding herd tactics, this is the most fundamental principle. A solitary zebra has survival rate below 20%. When lions attack, herds quickly form defensive formation. Young in the center, adult individuals surrounding outside. Wildebeest apply different tactics. When pursued, they run in multiple directions, disrupting predator coordination and creating escape opportunities. Giraffes usually stay in small groups, 3 to 5 individuals. They take turns on guard. When one eats, others observe. Buffalo, when threatened, they point horns outward, young in the middle. Even lions hesitate to attack this formation. With zebras, stripe patterns aren't just for beauty. When the entire herd moves simultaneously, stripes overlap, creating visual interference phenomenon. This makes predators difficult to focus on a specific individual, reducing hunt success rate by about 30%. Antelope possess brown-yellow coats, blending perfectly with dry grass color in dry season. When standing still, they're nearly invisible before predator eyes. Giraffes utilize height for camouflage. When standing among tall trees, only the head protrudes, making them from afar look like motionless branches. The African savannah is the harshest survival test, but herbivores have passed through millions of years of evolution. They have no fangs, claws, or venom, but possess acute senses, superior speed, and collective intelligence. The relationship between predator and prey is not a story of winning or losing, but of balance, where both coexist to maintain the ecosystem. By 2026, protecting this savanna becomes more important than ever, because this is not just home to countless species, but also the common heritage of the entire planet. Dawn over the Serengeti grasslands. The first light of a new day spreads across the horizon. Tanzania, East Africa, where borders between nations blur beneath the ceaseless footsteps of wildlife. This is the land of great migrations, where millions of wildebeest and zebras move with cycles of rain and drought. And here too, a pride of lions prepares to embark on the longest journey of their lives, a journey crossing national borders. The pride consists of 6 adult females, 2 male lions, and 4 6-month-old cubs. Africa's largest cat species, famous for their strength, coordinated hunting, and astonishing adaptability to harsh environments. The dry season has lasted over 4 months, water sources gradually depleting, prey increasingly scarce. The lion pride must choose: stay and face starvation, or follow the footsteps of the Great Migration. The decision has been made. The entire group will head toward Kenya, where rains have already begun arriving earlier. A journey nearly 100 kilometers long, through unfamiliar terrain, through nameless dangers. Wildebeest went ahead 2 weeks ago. The tracks still very clear. This is the route their ancestors traveled for thousands of years. The first day closes. The lion pride has covered 20 kilometers, but the road ahead is still very long. Lions are the most complex group living animals in the cat family. Cooperation is the key to survival. Lion eyes can see in darkness 6 times better than humans. Hearing detects prey from distances over 1 kilometer. From afar rings the deep rumble of another lion pride, a clear sign they've entered territory. This is one of the greatest challenges. Lions are very territorial. Any intruder is a threat. But our pride doesn't seek conflict. They just want to pass through, quietly and quickly. By dawn's break, they've passed through that territory safely. No bloodshed. A rare fortune on this harsh journey. Day 4. They reach another boundary. No signs, no fences, but this is the most dangerous boundary. Human boundary, roads connecting villages, engine sounds, strange smells, unfamiliar dangers. Over 30 lions are killed by vehicles each year on these roads. Humans and wildlife are sharing the same space. But greater danger still waits ahead. A Maasai herding village, where livestock roam free on the savannah. For hungry lions, a goat is a much easier target than wild antelope. But that's also people's livelihood. The Maasai have lived alongside lions for hundreds of years. They understand their presence, but cannot always be tolerant. The lion pride chooses to circle around this area. They don't hunt, don't provoke. Survival instinct guides each step. The next morning, the lion pride reaches the border between Tanzania and Kenya. An invisible line on maps, but to them, just continuing grassland. In Kenya, conservation policy differs from Tanzania. Anti-poaching patrols are tightened, corridors for wildlife expanded. However, the greatest challenge still lies ahead. The Mara River flows swiftly, water murky and full of crocodiles. Lions aren't good swimmers like leopards, but they have no other choice. Prey has crossed the river. The male lion advances first to test depth. Water rises nearly to its head. It roars a signal. One individual at a time jumps in. Cubs stay close to mothers. Current pulls strongly, but the entire pride swims with all remaining strength. A crocodile approaches, but before it can attack and the lion group reaches shore, it must retreat. All set foot on the other bank, exhausted but safe. They've entered Kenya, into Masai Mara, where green grasslands stretch to the horizon. And prey is there. Thousands of wildebeest, thousands of zebras, gathered following early season rains. That day, the lion pride brought down an antelope. It's the first meal after nearly a week of hunger and thirst. And this time, all members share portions. In short attack phases, lions can reach speeds up to 60 kilometers per hour. However, the crucial factor is always surprise. Lion hunting success rate is only about 30%. Each hunt is a risky gamble, and thus, each meal carries survival value. But the journey isn't finished yet. The wildebeest herd will continue moving with the rains, and the lion pride will continue following their tracks. In coming weeks, they may return to Tanzania or stay in Kenya a few more months. No one can know beforehand. But political boundaries can't stop survival instinct. Lions have moved like this for thousands of years. Today, only about 20,000 individual lions remain in the wild, decreased nearly 50% in just the past 30 years. The greatest threat to them isn't nature, but shrinking habitat and increasingly escalating conflict with humans. However, hope remains. In 2026, Kenya and Tanzania signed a cross-border conservation agreement. Wildlife corridors are protected, allowing lions and many other species to move freely according to life's natural rhythm. The Maasai play a crucial role in this effort. They are the first guardians and also the bridge between humans and wildlife. Compensation programs help communities accept coexistence with lions, protecting livestock without needing to kill predators. Educating the younger generation helps them understand that lions aren't enemies, but heritage, the country's common asset. Ecotourism also brings sustainable income. Throughout its lifetime, a living individual lion can generate economic value exceeding $1 million. Conservation, thus, is not just protecting animals, but protecting the entire ecosystem and the people living within it. Our lion pride has now temporarily settled in Masai Mara. 4 cubs grow each day, stronger, more independent. One day, they too will undertake their own cross-border journeys, like their parents, like their ancestors. That journey will be less harsh if humans continue to protect and cooperate. Lions are symbols of Africa, apex of the food chain, guardians of balance for the entire savannah. When we protect lions, we protect the entire ecosystem and ultimately protect ourselves. Borderlines on maps may divide nations, but nature doesn't recognize boundaries. Life has no borders. And in that lion pride's ceaseless journey, there's a clear message. The future of wildlife lies in our hands. The Serengeti grasslands at dawn. A pride of lions lies under the shade of trees after a failed night of hunting. Not far away, a pack of wild dogs is beginning their day. When looking at these two species, most people would bet on the lion. They are bigger, stronger, with claws and fangs far more formidable than the small wild dog. But if asked which species is Africa's best hunter, the answer will surprise many. Not the lion, not the leopard, but the wild dog. This is the story of the carnivore with the highest hunting success rate on the planet, about how a small creature surpasses giants through tactics and persistence. Data from over 20 years of research in the Serengeti and Okavango shows clear numbers. Lions' hunting success rate is only about 20 to 30%. Meanwhile, a pack of wild dogs with 6 to 10 individuals has a success rate of 70 to 85%, 3 times higher than lions. This means in 10 hunting attempts, wild dogs succeed 8 times, while lions may come back empty-handed 7 to 8 times. The difference is enormous. The first secret lies in hunting strategy. Lions are ambush predators, relying on explosive speed over short distances. They will give up after 100 meters. In contrast, wild dogs apply a completely different tactic, operating like marathon runners of the animal world, capable of continuous endurance running from 5 to 10 kilometers. Their speed isn't as high as cheetahs, but they can maintain 50 to 60 kilometers per hour for several continuous minutes. This is their true weapon. Prey may excel in short distances but cannot sustain it long term, and wild dogs only need to pursue continuously, giving the prey no chance to rest. GPS research shows prey's body temperature gradually increases. After 5 minutes of continuous running, they begin to overheat. After 10 minutes, they are completely exhausted. The second secret is pack coordination. Lions typically hunt in small groups of 2 to 3, but wild dogs hunt with the entire pack, 6 to 10 individuals at once. They can take turns leading. When the front individual tires, another takes over. The prey always faces a fresh pursuer. Simultaneously, other individuals run along different paths, cutting off the prey's escape routes. This intelligent encirclement tactic leaves the prey with no way out. Communication within the pack is also superior. Wild dogs emit special calls to coordinate. Each individual knows exactly what they need to do without seeing each other. The third secret is persistence. Lions typically give up after 1 or 2 failures because they expend too much energy. They need long rest periods to recover. But wild dogs can try multiple times in one morning. If the first attempt fails, they rest 15 minutes, then continue, never giving up easily. Their bodies are designed for endurance. Heart and lungs are larger in proportion to body size. An efficient circulatory system helps continuously supply oxygen to muscles. Long, slender legs help them expend less energy when running. Each stride is optimized for performance, not wasting a single calorie. The fourth secret is they hunt at the right time. Unlike lions that typically hunt at dusk and night, wild dogs hunt in the early morning and late afternoon. At these times, the temperature is cooler. They don't overheat during endurance running. Prey are also moving to find food, easier to detect, and less vigilant. Additionally, wild dogs face fewer scavengers at these times, as lions and hyenas typically rest in the morning, creating conditions for them to take advantage. Eating speed is also an advantage. When prey is caught, the entire pack tears the meat extremely quickly. They can finish eating an antelope in 15 minutes before scavengers arrive. Lions typically take hours to eat a large prey, easily discovered and robbed by hyenas. Wild dogs give others no chance. But there's a fact few people know. Despite being better hunters, wild dogs are the most endangered species among Africa's large carnivores. Only about 6,600 individuals remain in the wild, fewer than lions, fewer than leopards. Perfect hunting skills aren't enough to protect them from humans. Habitat loss, diseases from domestic dogs, and conflicts with livestock herders are the three biggest threats. When territory is fragmented, packs cannot hunt effectively. Conservation organizations are working to create movement corridors and protect large territories. Wild dogs need extensive space to maintain packs and hunt prey. Wild dogs teach the core lesson that strength doesn't always correlate with size, but often comes from intelligent tactics and effective coordination. On the African grasslands, survival victory doesn't belong to the strongest, but to the species that adapts well, persists, and excels at teamwork. Through thousands of years of evolution, African wild dogs have proven this, and if protected, they will continue to maintain their role as the superior hunters of this ecosystem. The East African savannah at dawn. The golden light of early day spreads slowly through the acacia canopy, warming the earth still damp with the night's dew. Herds of zebras and antelopes begin moving toward the water source. The rhythm of the savannah awakens with each footfall, orderly and peaceful. In the distance, a figure lies motionless on a tree branch. No movement, no sound, only a pair of amber eyes sweeping across every shadow below. This is the domain of the leopard, a land where hundreds of hunts have unfolded, where every rock and thicket holds the memory of the strong. The leopard is the most elusive of Africa's big cats. Body weight ranging from 30 to 70 kilograms, distributed across all of sub-Saharan Africa. Unlike lions or cheetahs that rely on speed, the leopard is a master of solitary ambush. It approaches prey in absolute silence, then strikes at a range from which it cannot miss. This female leopard has controlled an 18 square kilometer territory for the past 3 years. Every morning she patrols the same route without variation. Suddenly she stops. Both ears stand upright. Her nose flares slightly, drawing in the morning breeze. Something unlike any ordinary day is drifting past. To the south of her territory, a group of warthogs is rooting through the soil for food. They do not yet know they are within the sightline of a predator. The leopard begins to lower her center of gravity. Each step of her approach carries no apparent weight. This is the phase where millions of years of evolved instinct take complete control. But the savannah always holds moments of surprise. Midway through her approach, the ground in front of the leopard stirs. Another movement, not a warthog, is emerging. Outside a burrow is the entrance to another creature's territory, one that has lived here longer, more quietly, and dangerously so in an entirely different way. A black cobra begins to slide out. To understand this threat, one must look at the characteristics of one of the most dangerous snakes in Africa. The black cobra is named after its dark body color. When threatened, it flares its hood to appear larger, a clear warning signal before attacking. Ranging from 1.5 to 2.5 meters in length, the black cobra moves at a moderate pace, but with extreme agility. When threatened, it can launch an attack in an instant, with a reaction time of just 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. The black cobra's venom is a mixture of neurotoxins and cytotoxins. Without treatment, a victim can die within 20 minutes to a few hours, depending on the amount of venom injected. In the savannah ecosystem, the black cobra is not typical prey for a leopard. The two species rarely encounter each other because each is clever enough to avoid the other. But this time, there is no other choice. The snake's burrow lies directly in the leopard's only approach path. Two territories, two instincts, the same moment. Every move that follows will be decided not by strength or venom, but by who makes the first mistake. This is where two systems of evolution collide. The black cobra detects the leopard when less than 2 meters separate them. Instantly, it rears its front body upward, mouth slightly open. This is the language of territorial defense. The leopard does not retreat. Its nervous system has shifted state. From hunting to confrontation, both are now locked in a situation with no safe way out. The leopard extends a probing swipe with its front paw. The snake reflexively shifts to the right. No contact is made. It is only the first test, measuring the other's reaction speed. The snake counters immediately, a lightning-fast forward strike. The leopard pulls back just in time. The safe distance is entirely erased. Both sides are reading each other's rhythm. Normally, such confrontations end quickly. One side withdraws. But here the space is compressed. Behind lies pressure from the environment. Ahead lies the black cobra's territory. Neither side will yield. The leopard begins to circle. It searches for the angle where the opponent's defense is weakest. The snake also turns with each step, leaving no blind spot exposed. The snake strikes a second time, faster. The leopard sidesteps left, but the snake's head grazes past. It does not sink in deep, but contact has occurred. This is the moment that shifts the balance. The amount of venom injected is not enough to cause immediate paralysis, but the neurotoxin has already begun moving through the bloodstream. An invisible clock starts counting down, though the victim has not yet realized it. The leopard launches a powerful counterattack, both front paws pinning down the snake's head. But the black cobra twists its body. Force from both sides erupts simultaneously. The snake lands a second bite into the leopard's front wrist. Deeper this time, a larger dose of venom. The leopard yanks its paw away, shakes hard, and backs off. Retreating into the shade, the leopard begins licking the wound. The front leg trembles faintly. the first sign of the nervous system being affected as the venom begins to take hold. The snake does not give chase. It holds its position, body raised high, tracking every movement. No further strike is needed if the opponent has already been marked. The leopard lies down, breathing faster than normal. Its tail flicks in an irregular rhythm. The venom is acting on the central nervous system. 2 hours pass. The sun climbs high. The warthog group left long ago. Only 2 creatures remain in this lowland. One recovering, one slowly fading. For most species, this would be the moment to withdraw. But the leopard is not programmed to give up. That very quality is what allows it to survive, and sometimes what pushes it to a dangerous limit. All 4 legs tremble faintly, but still bear weight. Instinct takes control. The leopard moves toward the black cobra again. Slower now, heavier. The snake rears higher, mouth wide open. The black interior of its mouth is fully exposed. The final warning. Every defensive mechanism has been activated to its maximum. But the leopard still advances. Its movement is no longer fluid, but its body mass remains a physical advantage. This is the moment where muscle strength and biological toxin both reach their limit. The final clash lasts only a few seconds. The leopard throws its full body weight down, pins the snake, and drives its jaws into the body just behind the black cobra's head, the classic killing technique of the big cat family. In its final seconds, the black cobra attempts to use what strength remains to fight back, but it no longer has enough. A winner has been found. The black cobra stops moving. The leopard releases its jaw and moves slowly away. Breathing heavy, broken. 3 bites, enough venom to bring down an animal as large as an African buffalo, are spreading through its entire body. Its hind legs buckle first. It tries to stand, manages to, then falls again. The nervous system can no longer transmit enough signals to maintain balance. The body is gradually losing its connection to the brain. This is the paradox of the confrontation. The victor is dying. The leopard acted entirely on instinct, and the price is its own life. There is no true victory. The sun tilts slowly westward over the African savannah. No creature rises and walks away. Only the red earth remains silent, and the dust drifting on the evening wind. Within a few hours, vultures will appear. This is not an ending, but the reintegration of matter into a cycle that nature never interrupts. The old territory still remains. Tomorrow, another leopard may pass through, or another black cobra will slide out at a fateful moment. The encounter between the leopard and the black cobra is not a story of good and evil, the strong or the weak. It is a story of 2 perfect biological systems, and the price paid when that perfection meets head-on. Africa does not permit existence without purpose. Every creature here pays its dues through ceaseless evolution. But when 2 peaks of evolution meet, The outcome is sometimes no longer a victory, but mutual annihilation. The savannah will continue this way, day after day, million years after million years. No judgment, no mercy, only the cold and perfect workings of nature. Dawn's light touches the Serengeti plains. Grass lush green after night rain. Air fresh and clear. But this beauty conceals ever-lurking danger. Here, each day is a survival test. Predator and prey, defender and attacker. A battle that never rests. But today, the story isn't about great hunters, it's about a mother and fragile new life that needs protection. This is the story of a rhino calf. First survival lessons from the moment of birth. In the wild world, every small mistake can be paid for with death. The black rhinoceros is one of 5 rhino species still existing on Earth. Weighing nearly 2 tons, standing about 1.6 meters tall, like a living fortress on the grassland. The horn can grow up to 1 meter long, made of keratin, like human fingernails, but hard and sharp as a natural spear. The calf, just 3 weeks old, weighs only about 60 kilograms. No horn yet, can't run fast, completely dependent on mother's protection. Rhino calf survival rate in the first year is only 50%. Lions, hyenas, crocodiles, and sometimes even adult males. The first months are the most vulnerable period. The calf is slow, reflexes delayed, yet curious to explore. Easily separated from mother, that's when predators wait. The mother rhino always keeps her calf within her protective zone. The calf moves behind or close beside mother's body, like a small shadow hidden behind a living fortress. Midday, the mother rhino leads her calf to a water hole to drink and mud bathe. But water sources are also dangerous places, where predators patiently wait. She stops before entering the water, sniffs the air, listens to every small sound, eyes scanning around like a living radar in the grassland. In nearby bushes, 3 hyenas are watching. They've been tracking the mother and calf since morning, patiently waiting for the moment the calf separates from protection. Spotted hyenas are opportunistic hunters. They rarely attack adult rhinos, but a slow-moving calf is an entirely different target. The mother rhino senses danger, pushes the calf behind her, assuming defensive stance like a living wall. One hyena tries approaching from the left. The mother rhino pivots, keeping the calf always behind her body, like a rotating shield before every direction of danger. The calf cries out in fear. The mother rhino responds with a deep rumble, like a heavy warning resonating through the hot air. One hyena suddenly charges forward, not aiming to kill immediately, but to harass and test reaction, like a probe piece on the chessboard of survival. But the mother rhino doesn't fall for it. She doesn't chase. doesn't leave position, just pivots with each predator movement, always keeping the calf behind. 10 tense minutes pass. Hyenas try approaching from different directions, but never once reach the calf. One hyena decides to take a risk. It charges straight at high speed, aiming for the small gap between mother and calf. A life or death gamble. The mother rhino reacts almost instantly. 2 tons of muscle launches forward, reaching nearly 50 kilometers per hour like a living tank. The predator can't dodge in time. The horn sweeps and strikes its flank. The 2 remaining hyenas immediately retreat. They understand the balance of power. This hunt isn't worth the price. The mother rhino turns back, sniffs every centimeter of her calf, licks gently as a reassuring gesture. The calf still trembles, but uninjured. First lesson recorded. Days later, a pride of lionesses appears near the foraging area, multiple individuals coordinating the hunt, far more dangerous than solitary hyenas. Lionesses are the savannah's professional hunters. When hunting as a group, they can surround from multiple directions, cutting off prey's escape routes. The mother rhino doesn't run. Running would expose her back and separate her from the calf. She pivots slowly, keeping the calf at the center like the heart of a fortress. Lions advance cautiously, step by step. They know adult rhinos are extremely dangerous, but the calf is too tempting a prize. The calf is terrified, instinct urging it to flee, but memory from the hyena encounter makes it stay, pressing close to mother's body within the circle of safety. One lioness tries to charge in, lightning fast, but the mother rhino is faster. She spins and thrusts hard. The horn sweeps past, forcing the lioness to leap back. The confrontation lasts 20 minutes. The lion pride tries approaching multiple times from different directions, but the mother rhino's defense shows no opening. Finally, the lionesses stop. Their energy expenditure too great, risk too high. In nature, predators must always calculate. When the lion pride leaves, the mother rhino finally relaxes, breathing heavily, body exhausted, but the calf remains safe. And that's the only victory needed. In the following weeks, the calf grows significantly. It learns to position itself correctly when danger appears and learns to read signals from mother. At 3 months old, the calf has nearly doubled in weight. It runs faster and has better reflexes, but still needs mother like a compass for guidance. Each encounter with predators is a new lesson. In the wild world, experience is the strictest but most effective teacher. But rhinos face greater challenges. Horn poaching, habitat loss, and climate change are pushing this species to the brink. Only about 5,500 black rhinos remain in the wild. down 98% from 4 decades ago, making them critically endangered. Conservation areas are making efforts. Rangers patrol against poachers 24 hours, monitoring each individual to protect both mother rhinos and calves. Rhinos play crucial roles in the ecosystem. When moving through thickets, they create natural pathways, helping many other species access food and water. Thanks to conservation programs, by 2026 rhino calf survival rates have increased slightly. However, the black rhino's recovery journey remains very long. When the sun sets over the African savannah, the mother rhino leads her calf to rest. Another day has passed, and another day they've survived. The calf lies close beside mother, safe and warm. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, but today they've won their own battle. In the silence of the grassland, a lesson is quietly rewritten. A mother's protective instinct is strong as an unbreakable fortress. Every surviving calf is a victory, not just for the individual, but for the species' future on this planet. Under Africa's gentle moonlight, the mother rhino remains vigilant because she knows the calf beside her isn't just her offspring, but the last hope of an entire species. An afternoon on the Botswana savannah, a honey badger is digging and foraging for food near a dry riverbed. Suddenly, 2 leopards emerge from nearby bushes. In viral videos online, this is when the honey badger would turn around to attack the leopards, fight bravely, and force them to retreat. But reality is completely different. The honey badger doesn't attack. Instead, it immediately runs toward the nearest rocky den at maximum speed. This isn't cowardice. This is intelligent survival. This is the story of the real honey badger. Not the invincible super warrior the internet portrays, but an escape artist, a survival specialist. Popular belief suggests honey badgers win every fight. Online videos show them chasing lions, attacking leopards, and defeating anyone who dares challenge them. But field research over 20 years in the Kalahari shows honey badgers avoid conflict whenever possible. They only fight when there's no other choice. When facing lions, honey badgers have 3 options: flee, hide in a burrow, or counterattack. The first 2 options account for 80% of cases. Why? Because honey badgers only weigh 10 kilograms. Lions weigh 200 kilograms. This isn't a fair fight. Victory is impossible. Even when honey badgers attack ferociously, roaring and biting, this isn't to win. This is to create an escape opportunity, making the opponent hesitate for a few seconds, enough to get away. The honey badger's main tactic is to make itself hard to eat, not to defeat the enemy. Thick skin, fierce growling, biting the opponent's face to cause pain. The goal isn't to make the lion flee. The goal is to make the lion think killing the honey badger costs more effort than the value gained. This is cost-benefit calculation. And this strategy often works. Not because the honey badger is stronger, but because the lion or leopard doesn't want to get injured over such small prey. But it's not always lucky. GPS research tracking honey badgers over 5 years shows 60% of individuals have scars from attacks. Some have broken legs, torn ears, or are blind in one eye, showing these aren't signs of victory, but marks of surviving confrontations. Three tracked individuals died within 5 years. One killed by a lion, one killed by a leopard, one attacked by a pack of hyenas. Not invincible. Viral videos online only show the times honey badgers successfully escape. No one films the times they fail, lying dead in the bushes. Even with venomous snakes, honey badgers don't always win. Research in Okavango recorded honey badgers bitten by cobras, lying unconscious and being eaten alive by vultures. The unconscious period from 2 to 5 hours is an extremely dangerous phase, as they cannot defend or flee, allowing any predator to finish them off. So why do honey badgers have a reputation for fearlessness? Because we remember the times they survive, not the times they die. This is perception bias. The truth is, honey badgers survive by knowing when to fight and when to run. They fight fiercely when cornered, but prioritize escape over victory. Climbing ability is an important escape weapon. When chased, honey badgers can climb trees quickly. Lions can't climb. Neither can hyenas. Burrowing ability also saves their lives many times. Honey badgers can dig 1 meter deep in 15 minutes. They crawl in and block the entrance with dirt, waiting for the opponent to leave. Surviving to fight another day is always more beneficial than dying a hero. And nature only selects for survival ability, not rewarding courage. The average lifespan of 7 to 8 years for honey badgers is much lower than many other carnivores, clearly reflecting that their risky lifestyle always comes with consequences. Compared to leopards living 12 years, lions 14 years, honey badgers die much earlier, mainly due to accumulated wounds from confrontations and infections. Mortality research shows 30% of honey badgers die from larger carnivores, 20% die from venom, 50% die from infection and starvation. Honey badgers are fearless, but fearlessness doesn't equal invincibility, as they accept danger largely because of food-scarce environments. To this day, honey badgers still exist in many areas of Africa, but conflicts with humans are increasing as they steal chickens and dig burrows near homes. Many people kill honey badgers thinking they're dangerous. But the truth is, honey badgers avoid humans when possible. They only attack when cornered. Honey badgers teach the important lesson that survival isn't about winning every battle, but knowing when to fight and when to retreat. Viral videos may make them look like superheroes, but in the real world, honey badgers are wise survivors, not undefeated warriors. And perhaps That's what's most admirable. Not superior strength, but the ability to keep living in a world full of creatures 20 times stronger. The Serengeti grasslands stretch endlessly, one of Africa's largest wild ecosystems, where natural law still absolutely governs all life. Millions of herbivores live here, from zebras, wildebeest, to antelope, creating a rich food chain with one irreplaceable apex. In the sparse shade of acacia trees, a male lion rests. The thick mane has turned dark, sign of a mature and experienced individual. Its position as pride leader doesn't come from bloodline, but is the result of countless confrontations, perseverance, and ability to survive in a harsh world. Male lions can weigh over 200 kilograms, but what makes them different from lionesses isn't just body size, but precisely the distinctive thick mane. The mane begins developing when male lions are about 2 years old, not only displaying gender, but also reflecting health, age, and testosterone levels. In confrontations between males, the mane acts like natural armor, protecting neck and shoulders from claws and fangs. However, the mane is also a physiological burden, making the body easily overheat during intense activity. Thus, male lions rarely participate in regular hunting. A typical lion pride consists of 3 to 4 adult females plus cubs, while the dominant male is usually 1 or 2 brothers. The dominant male's role is very clear: protect territory and pride from outside males. This is full-time and dangerous work. Each night, roars echo across the Serengeti grasslands, not to flaunt strength, but as clear warning that this territory has an owner. That roar can travel up to 8 kilometers, but simultaneously reveals position, attracting wandering males patiently seeking opportunities. When lions confront, instinct doesn't allow retreat, because this isn't just territorial dispute, but battle for breeding rights and genetic lineage. Battle unfolds fiercely, 2 masses of bodies charging at each other, 5-centimeter claws tearing flesh. Each strike can determine life or death. Combat can last from minutes to hours, but the outcome usually doesn't change. The loser must retreat or die. The winner gains absolute power. The new male taking it over the pride must make a decision, because cubs left by the old male are potential threats to its genetic future. These cubs will be killed. This is brutal behavior, but has clear biological logic. When cubs die, lionesses will be ready to mate again after 2 to 3 weeks. Lionesses may resist, but they're not strong enough to confront males. Only a few lucky cubs escape and hide in bushes. After this period, the new dominant male begins mating with females. The new cubs are its genetic legacy. However, the crown of power always comes at high cost. The dominant male must be constantly vigilant because in nature, rest doesn't exist. On average, a male lion only holds the dominant position for 2 to 3 years. Very few individuals are strong and lucky enough to extend power to 5 years. Each battle leaves scars. Each passing year diminishes strength. Fangs wear down, muscles lose agility, reflexes slow. When no longer strong enough, the old male will be dethroned. This is inevitable law. Some choose to wander alone. Some die in the final battle. Dethroned males usually don't live long. No females to hunt. They must face the harsh grasslands alone. Some are lucky to find animal carcasses to eat, but usually they must compete with hyenas and vultures. Status has completely reversed. But not all stories are tragic. Some males form alliances with each other. When old, they can rely on each other, increasing survival chances. In the lion world, success isn't measured by lifespan, but by the number of surviving cubs carrying their genes. By 2026, wild lion numbers are only about 20,000 individuals, decreased nearly 90% compared to a century ago. Habitat loss, conflict with humans, and poaching are the greatest threats, forcing conservation areas to expand and connect. Modern research shows lions have complex social structure, can remember individuals, and display grief behavior when losing peers. Being a dominant male means a short but intense life, where each day is a challenge and each decision affects lineage. In that brief time, a male can leave an eternal mark, not through roars, but through cubs continuing the survival story on the endless grasslands.